Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Today's episode dives into one of the most intriguing and perhaps most misunderstood picks in the 2025 NFL Draft for the Detroit Lions. It's a selection that came late on day 3, but according to one of the most respected minds in all of football analysis, it might just hold more weight than people realize. We're talking about 7th-round pick wide receiver Dominic Lovett out of Georgia, who was selected 244th overall. Now, 7th-rounders don't usually make headlines, right? But what if I told you this might not be your typical 7th-round story? What if this late pick could quietly evolve into one of the sneakiest weapons in Detroit's growing arsenal? And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Greg Cosell, the legendary NFL analyst, producer for NFL Films, and executive behind NFL Matchup, has once again provided his incredibly detailed, brutally honest breakdown of the Lions draft class. He's done this for 12 straight years for DetroitLions.com, and for the 13th year in a row, he didn't hold back. And what he had to say about Dominic Lovett, let's just say, it raises eyebrows. So buckle up, because we're going deep into what Cosell saw in Lovett, what the Lions might be planning, and whether this late-round flyer could be something much, much more. Let's start with who Dominic Lovett is on the surface. A fast, twitchy receiver who split his college career between Missouri and Georgia. Not the tallest guy on the field. Not the most polished route runner on paper. But here's the kicker. When he gets the ball in his hands, the game changes. Cosell described him as faster than quick, someone with natural contraction and burst, ideal for tunnel screens, jet sweeps, and quick outs. But here's where the story gets really compelling. At Georgia in 2023, Lovett wasn't asked to do too much in terms of complex route trees. He was used as a space player, someone you scheme touches for, get him in motion, feed him on quick hitters, and let his natural explosiveness do the rest. It's the type of usage we've seen teams like the 49ers or Dolphins build offenses around. But here's the question. Was Georgia limiting him, or were they simply playing to his strengths? Cosell's evaluation strongly suggests that Lovett might have been underutilized. In his own words, there were snapshots of route running from the slot in which he showed separation quickness at the top of the stem. That's a very specific phrasing that indicates Lovett has tools that just weren't put fully on display in Athens. So let's ask the big question. Could the Lions be seeing something that Georgia never fully tapped into? Cosell even went further, referencing Lovett's 2022 season at Missouri, where he had to do more heavy lifting in the vertical route game. He challenged slot corners and safeties deep, and according to the film, he won. That means there's tape of Lovett doing more than just catching bubble screens. There's evidence he can separate, track the deep ball, and get behind defenders. And that, right there, could be the key. Because if you look at the Lions' current receiver room, what you see? Monterey St. Brown, one of the best in the league, no doubt. Jameson Williams, explosive, but still figuring out his consistency. They brought back Khalif Raymond and still have some versatile depth. But no one in that group offers quite the same skill set as Lovett in terms of manufactured touches, short area explosion, and what happens after the catch. Could Lovett carve out a role similar to how the 49ers used Deebo Samuel, or how the Chiefs once used Tyreek Hill in his early years? Now, let's be clear, we're not saying Dominic Lovett is Deebo or Tyreek. But when Greg Cosell says, "My sense watching Lovett is there's much more to his game than what he was asked to do in college," you stop and pay attention. Because Cosell doesn't toss out those kinds of statements lightly. This isn't a hot take from a clickbait pundit. This is coming from a man who has spent decades studying tape, breaking down the nuances of player movement, route structure, and offensive design. If he sees potential in Lovett beyond the surface, it's worth investigating further. Let's talk context. What happens to 7th-round picks in the NFL? Historically, most don't even make the final 53-man roster. But there are always outliers, hidden gems who emerge from the shadows when placed in the right scheme, with the right coaches, and the right opportunity. The Lions, under Dan Campbell and GM Brad Holmes, have made it a habit of turning late-rounders and undrafted players into contributors. Malcolm Rodriguez, anyone? So is Dominic Lovett the next name on that list? He enters a locker room that loves versatility, that prides itself on grit and creativity. Ben Johnson, the Lions' offensive coordinator, is one of the most innovative minds in the game. He loves to disguise intentions, to misdirect defenses, to use motion and misalignment to create advantages. And that's where Lovett could thrive. Motion receiver. Jet sweep threat. quick screen specialist, occasional vertical attacker, a chess piece who forces defenses to react, even if he's not the primary target. Could we see Lovett take over the gadget role previously held by someone like Khalif Raymond? Or even push for a WR4 spot as a change-of-pace weapon? Some insiders believe that if he has a strong camp and shows enough special teams value, he could sneak onto the final roster. And that's just year one. What happens in year two, when he's more comfortable, more developed, and maybe, just maybe, gets more reps with the starting offense? Fans are already buzzing online. Some are cautiously optimistic. Others are labeling Lovett as a potential steal. And there's another group asking, if Cosell is this impressed, why did he fall to the 7th round? It's a fair question, and the answer likely lies in usage, scheme fit, and measurable limitations. He's not tall. He's not a physical dominator. But in the modern NFL, where space and speed rule, and creativity is king, players like Lovett can quietly become stars. So here's the burning question that no one has answered definitively yet. Is Dominic Lovett a fringe roster guy? Or is he a hidden weapon that Ben Johnson already has plans for? But what do you think about all of this? Was this just a routine Day 3 pick? Or are the Lions quietly stashing a secret weapon in Dominic Lovett, someone who could shock us all by becoming a legitimate contributor in Detroit's high-powered offense? As a Lions fan myself, I love this kind of pick. Low risk, high reward. And when someone like Greg Cosell is this intrigued by a late-round player, I can't help but get excited. I don't expect Lovett to be WR1 overnight, but if he turns into a reliable gadget guy, or better yet, grows into a full-blown slot weapon, that's a massive win for this front office. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on your Detroit Lions. We've got so much more content coming your way. Analysis, breakdowns, speculation, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and as always, one pride.